Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. This is for anyone that wants to improve their professional situation, although it does transcend to your personal life as well. And what we're really talking about here is being a better leader. There's so much involved in that. It's a game changer when you harness some of the skills that she offers and teaches as a leadership coach. And by the way, if you have any questions, you want to reach out to us about anything we talk about today, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com or 631-319-6275. Denise Krumlian is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Steve. How are you?
Very well. Very well. And yeah, any questions about leadership, moving your life forward? I'm going to ask a question of you before we even begin. And I don't believe I've ever asked this question. Your philosophy for coaching. What is it? How does it work?
My philosophy on coaching. Well, coaching itself is a co-creative process. So the core tenet is that everybody has what they need already inside of them. And so our job as coaches is to bring that out through positive inquiry or questioning, and also sometimes holding up a mirror and reflecting back what we hear, either verbally or what we see non-verbally. Sometimes that in itself can really help to be eye-opening for people.
When did you realize that, I'm going to be a coach?
I thought about it first in 2012 and then ended up having my son in 2013. So that went on hold a little bit. Got my own coach in 2016 and said, yep, I need to do this. I saw the value in it immediately and went and got my certification in 2017 and started from there.
Wow. Did it seem like it was a calling from within you?
Yes. Yeah. I do not remember where I first heard of coaching and how it came about, except that through my own leadership journey and becoming a better manager and people leader and looking at all these different resources and servant leadership came up, and then looking at how to ask questions, and that piece of what I was doing and supporting different members of the team. I really loved that part the most about leadership and my management.
I know it's a cliche, but I find it in myself, and I'm going to say it. I am a team player. I really like to work with people on a team level. Solo stuff, that's okay to a point, but I don't need to score all the points. I don't need to take the accolades or all of that. It's more fun when you do it together with others.
Yeah, I completely agree. The collaboration that happens when I'm coaching with people, that co-creative process is something, seeing other people and their success and their progress and just knowing that, I was able to support them to get there. Again, yeah. I'm not doing the work. That's the difference between consulting and coaching, is that as a coach, I'm not doing the actual work of doing the deliverable necessarily. They are the ones doing it. I'm there supporting them, but it's so much more powerful when they're the ones that have the aha moments versus me just telling them what to do.
Honestly, in the times that we've gotten together, I've had aha moments, like things by the way, I put the post-it over here seconds ago. I moved it. It's from 2 weeks ago. Where is it? Compassion. What are the 3 C's?
The 3 C's of my culture van. It's compassion, connection, and commitment.
Commitment. That was it. I wrote it down. I keep it here.
I love it.
Because I want to share with others. We got Kelsey checking in from Clearwater, Florida. instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. She says, I'm responsible for a sales team. How can I build trust among them?
The first thing, building trust, is connection, right? So that's the second C. So it's talking about asking them questions, asking what do they need, getting their input, having them feel heard, seen, and valued, and also sharing yourself of what matters most to you as the leader of the organization. Having the culture that you want, being consistent in your messaging, being clear on your strategy, things of that nature, because when you're consistent in your messaging, it helps guide people to be able to do their work. But the most important thing is really understanding the person on your team. That really helps build the trust. They feel seen and valued. Ask them. I have actually a sheet that I'm going to be posting on my website. And so if you want to go to denisekrumlian.com, you can download the sheet, and it has a bunch of questions to help those conversations get started.
It's so obvious, maybe rhetorical, but asking questions. We don't do it because a lot of times we feel like we need to bring it on. We need to, produce. We have to show people certain things, and then we just don't do that. Thank you for that reminder.
That's one of the hugest things I see across the board with leaders is they feel like sometimes if they're not the ones doing the work, then they're not doing enough. And really their work is to be the best leader they can be for their team and really support them so they can do their work. And that's the difference.
It's almost as if you're giving them foundation, to get that done. I think we have a call. Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
Very well. Who's this?
This is Joe, Joe Blank. I'm just actually just contacting because I'm having a hard time balancing work, family, and friends, and I can, see how I can set, a realistic and achievable goals for myself for that.
So, hi, Joe.
Hi.
I want to make sure I heard you correctly. So if I'm hearing you right, you're saying that you want to have more balance between your work and your personal life with your family and friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so I guess, may I ask a couple of questions to start?
Sure.
Okay. I'm curious about what you've done so far that you may have might have helped you, or maybe you haven't had success with so far.
Well, yeah, with work. I'm always working, and the timing and availability, and also a lot of stress I'm going through in my life as well.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. So with that, I would probably encourage you to think about some boundaries. And so maybe if you're wanting more, what I like to call life harmony, not just balance. There's times where you're going to have to be doing more work, and then there's times where you might be able to have more fun. Is really looking at your schedule. What can work for that day?
I didn't figure that. Okay.
That day or that week, and just say, what do I want? Setting your intentions for the week, and how can I help meet my goal of having more harmony in my life with my work?
That sounds pretty good, and having a little bit more, mental stability as well. Okay. Wow, that's a great note.
Oh, that's awesome. And with that also the clarity and stress, I would say, we've talked in another episode about resilience. I would say, what can be your resilience routine? How can you help yourself bounce back from any of the stresses that you have so that you can, be more fulfilled and happier too? So whether it be exercise or that connection with your friends or better sleep, any of those things, or there's many others too.
Wow, you hit on the nose, sleep. I get maybe 4 hours sleep. You're right. Sleeping is definitely a big factor in the case as well.
For sure. And
thank you.
Thank you very much for checking in.
Thanks for calling.
Day.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. The sleep thing, you don't realize it until you haven't had sleep, and then you're like, I'm foggy. I can't focus. I'm on edge. Sleep. It's amazing, right?
Sleep deprived most of my life, and it wasn't until COVID happened that I became much more focused on sleep, and it made a difference.
100% agree. I used to wake up 3:45 a.m. every day, and for decades, many.
Wow.
And it's now I sleep till about 7, but I find myself short of time. And I know that if I woke up at 6, I could get so much more done, but it's almost as if I feel like I'm doing myself an injustice.
Yeah, you've prioritized your sleep.
Yeah. Well, talk about the balance. I try to balance, nighttime, take it till 11 o'clock or whatever. And if I wake up at 6, maybe it's not enough sleep. Yeah. Wow. Lisa, Searsport Maine, checking in, instant feedback, steve@gmail.com. She says, I've been thinking about becoming a coach for a long time. can you offer any advice?
Yes. That's exciting. I'm excited for you. I just got that nervous energy, that excited energy, remembering when I was thinking about it. So
Mm.
I would say if you don't already have a coach, get a coach because experiencing it firsthand is probably one of the best things you can do. And the second thing is that there are many different companies out there that can help you get certified. You don't have to get certified, but I really encourage people. There's so many people that call themselves coaches, and I'm a little bit of a purist. I am an International Coach Federation certified coach. I'm actually going for my second level certification, hopefully for
Wow.
Q1. It's really helps to give a standard framework. And if she would love it, Lisa, I think it was, if she would like to talk more, I'm happy to have a call with her so she can set up some time through my website. Just go to my contact page
Very cool.
and set up a free discovery call.
Yeah, love it. And thank you for that. And thanks, Lisa, checking in. You said a word before, and interestingly, I don't believe there are any coincidences. This word has come up today a number of times here and just in general. Boundaries.
Mm.
Boundaries. How do you define them?
It's different for different people. For me, it's like my set of non-negotiables or where my guardrails are. So for me, it might be I've struggled with boundaries a lot. And so it's taken me a lot to actually get to this place where I can say this, but it's about knowing where are your yeses and where are your nos, I guess, is the
Mm,
simple way. It's
mm.
saying that I will do this here and I'm not available for this here. And so it's really understanding yourself and what matters. And it can happen for work, it can happen for relationships, it can happen for yourself with any of your goals. So like you can set boundaries for yourself, even when you're doing your goals of like what you will and will not do within them.
What about writing them down? And I know that sounds so obvious, but I was thinking about this before, just to know where you truly stand on them. And that's question number one, your thoughts on that. And number two, are boundaries essentially your values?
The values definitely play a role in the boundaries. I don't know if I would say for me that they've been the same exact thing, but the boundaries support my values and my values help influence what my boundaries are, if that makes sense.
Say that one more time.
My values influence what my boundaries are, and my boundaries support what my values.
Yes. I'm glad you
So
said that
that,
again because I needed to process that like all of us. But yeah, now it's clear. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And so writing them down, just like writing down your values, writing down your goals, I think there's a huge amount of power in embodying what it is that you want. I'll give you an example. So when I was starting my business, I didn't know I wanted to have a flexible schedule to be able to be there for my son. And so one of the things I had to do was figure out what my schedule was going to be. I wrote down my hours, and it took a while for me to be okay with not just the standard 9 to 5 after being in a corporate setting for so long.
Mm.
And so by writing it down and leaving it on my desk for me to see, it really helped me when it was coming up to that end of the day, my end of day for that day to say, remember, this is okay. I am choosing this because this is going to help me with my life harmony.
Hmm. I feel again writing it down like we don't have true clarity
Yeah.
even within ourselves. And
Mhm.
I've been keeping I have a gratitude journal. I keep just a journal. I didn't do the journal for the longest time. And I would say, you got to write it down, you got to write it down. And I just kept avoiding it. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't want to, see my thoughts. But once I
Mhm.
started doing it, and I'm like, wow, interesting, to the point where I almost look forward to doing it because I feel it's almost like when you call in a friend and you just want to vent or whatever. It's,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, let me think about that as I write things down. And one of the wonderful things is you can refer back, tomorrow, months from now, years from now, and see where you were and
Mhm.
how your life moved along in its trajectory.
Absolutely. It can be a huge release, and it can also be a really good reminder or motivator.
Before we leave boundaries, Give me one of yours.
Besides my work one, that's probably the most tangible one. I would say one of my other boundaries is if it doesn't feel right, then I don't have to answer right away. So sometimes I'll say, let me get back to you, so that I can process something. Like, so if somebody's asking me to do something, and if it's not like an immediate, oh yes, I must do this, I might say, let me get back to you. Let's schedule some time for tomorrow or whatever, so that I have some time to process, because I know that that can help me to really think through things.
I love that. And we're so
Mm.
click crazy that we want people to know that I'm on top of it. I got it. All right. But it's okay to say, hold on, let me get back to you on that. All right, I'm driving, I'll let you know, whatever it might be. Wow. And if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. I encountered somebody recently who is a friend of an acquaintance, and I knew of them. They're all good. And I was at a venue and a bunch of people hanging out and started talking with them, and a little deeper conversation. And I'm thinking to myself, this is not me. This is not for me. I almost feel like, whoa, back off. If I say anything, I'm very respectful, but it's just like, no, I don't want to. And in the past, I would just keep engaging. I'm just like, I'm good with that conversation, and we're good. And, not for me, not for me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I thought of another one that's
Sure.
really good, and hopefully this will help people too, because a lot of that life harmony and trying to juggle between work and the rest of your life, I shut off all my phone notifications. And now I know that is not either comfortable or possible for a lot of people. However, with that, I do say, if it's urgent, like if I'm on vacation, I try not to check my email unless I know there's something coming in that I have to one day. But overall, I'm on vacation. I set things up so that I can be away and take that time. And I say to my team, I've said, if something's urgent, just text me. Texting is the one way that I know you're not going to use it unless it's urgent. And if it's something that can wait, don't text me. We'll deal with it when I'm back. And that way people still have access. And I only have one channel out of all my channels that I have to look at maybe periodically on the day. But it helps to just not have the headspace about work, for instance, if you're on vacation.
Oh, for sure. By the way, I don't get any notifications. None. It's a little laborious when I open up my phone, when I have a moment, going through every app and looking for, an indicator. Oh, all right, somebody there's and even with my daughter, and that's priority. And we communicate, because she's 16, on Snap. And then if I don't reply, then she hits me up as a text. And if I don't reply, and it's important enough, then she'll call me.
Yeah.
And I think, if something's important enough, have somebody call you, and then it's
Exactly.
your choice. You want to pick up or follow it up with a text. I got another one here from Keith in St. Louis. And he says, I have things I want to accomplish, but often don't make it happen. How can I stay on track?
Oh, that's a juicy one. So goal setting and getting is one of my other key things in the Life Pie method that I have, which is clarity, commitment, and consistency. So the three things. So the first is get really clear about what you want and why. Why is it important is such a huge piece of it. And then what is your belief system around that? Are you super committed? Are you a 10 in your commitment? And do you believe at a 10, level 10 out of 0 to 10, that you can do it? If the belief isn't there, you got to dive deeper on that, because you can be super committed in something, but not believe that it's possible and not get the progress you want. And the last place that also not actually attaining the goals that you're looking for and achieving them can be inconsistency. So the exercise one that we always love to bring up, right? So say you want to, lose 5 pounds by Christmas. Well, if you're not consistent in the plan that you've set out, it's not going to happen most likely. And so what are the things that you put in place so that you have consistency in your actual doing the tasks that you need to do? And then in between there too, sometimes people don't know how to create action plans. right? Action plans are the series of tasks that help you to actually achieve the goal that you've set out to do. So if you need help with any of that, I'm happy to talk more about it.
Your eyes lit up on that one.
Yeah. The project is a kind of a combination of coaching and project management in me. I can't help it.
So that last part, give us that again. So the action items lead to, what was that?
So you have your goal, you have your why. So you create maybe a SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So you've got your goal really clear on what it is. And then you want to say you want to do something by June of 2025. You're going to have some key milestones along the way, or those big rocks that you can use as milestones of the progress. And then you want to chunk it out into what I call bite-sized pieces to go with my life pie. And so those bite-sized pieces are the tasks that you would do daily, weekly. And so you're breaking things down smaller and smaller, starting with the macro goal, and then what would be a goal for the month? What would be then a deliverable that you could do for the week? And then what are the tasks, your action plan to get there? So by breaking it out and chunking it out into days and weeks, it makes it so much more manageable and not overwhelming, because things change, right? One thing that we know, the only thing constant is change. So you can make the best plan, but all you have to do is have one curveball and it can get blown up. So rather than doing it all at once, just have those key milestones so that you have the checkpoints, but then focus on the details week to week. And that's the consistency in that planning.
And you have the vision, and I love the markers, you call them rocks, but that it's something, a reference point,
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Good stuff today. How do we find you? Somebody wants to connect with you. I mentioned, I think it was Lisa that was looking at coaching as well. What's the best way to connect with you?
DeniseKrumlian.com. So it's with a K, DeniseKrumlian.com. And I have a contact page, and I'm happy to do the complimentary discovery call with anybody for coaching, or if you have any other questions, companies, if they want a custom engagement, or individuals for coaching and or strategy sessions.
Awesome. Your last name, Krumlin, correct?
A-N. Yep.
A-N. I thought I said that, but okay.
Oh, both.
Gotcha. Denise, thanks so much for today. Really appreciate it.
Always goes by so fast.
I know, right? And I sometimes I look up at the time, like, is it? Yeah, no, that's what it says. I'd like double take. That means we'll get together next time.
All right.
Awesome.
See you after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
You too. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.